Friends, it is my pleasure to introduce our first storyteller to kick off Ultimate Speaker Competition July 2022, Ann Ludington. Ann is the author of Between the Drops, Jousting with Chronic Illness. In 2006, she was handed the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis and told that she probably wouldn't be walking in 10 years. And if she was, it would involve a cane or a walker. She is walking proof that doctors aren't always right. Please rise to your feet and welcome our first storyteller, Ann Ludington.
I am not a stranger to the dark.
Will you allow me to set the stage for you? Okay, this is not a chair from this area. This is a recliner, a red recliner. It's comfortable. It's inviting.
Yeah.
And in front of this are children and dogs, because I love dogs.
This is
Anybody that knows me knows I love dogs. I'm going to tell them a story. They've asked me for this tonight. They've asked me, begged me to tell them the story. And so I'm going to tell them the story of the horse. Well, a horse. Listen, my children, you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. What? Wait, no. That's not the story you want? You want the story of Star, the horse? Not Paul Revere's horse. Who cares about that? He's just a horse. But Star should be more famous than Paul Revere's horse. Because April 26, 1777, Star made this ride. Now, Star rode from Danbury, New York. Well, Star was ridden from Danbury, New York. Star's a horse. And the British were burning Danbury. In the adventures of Star, she was racing across the country 40 miles. Paul Revere only rode like 20. But Star's rider is what is special here. Because Star's rider was a 16-year-old girl who was warning that the British were coming. Her father, Colonel Henry, asked her to go out and warn the citizens of the town that this was coming. So Star, this horse, took her rider across the battlefields, across the burning towns, to spread the message that they needed to prepare they were being attacked. They needed help. And Star, the rider's name was Sybil, young girl, 16 years old. Most people from history do not know her because she was a girl. She was young. She wasn't important because women and girls were not important to history back then. Not unless they married somebody famous, you know. But she's important to me. And this is a story that I grew up hearing. Sybil Ludington rode across the country to stop this attack, to warn this attack. And even though there's a stamp out there, 2-cent stamp, so it's a number of years ago, and there's a few books here and there, but unless you know, you don't know. Because she's just a girl. She's just a young girl. She married somebody, maybe. They're kind of debating that in history now because, you know, she's only a girl. Didn't really matter. But her father, Colonel Henry Ludington, sent her on this ride. And she rode. And she gave and gave of herself. And she was exhausted, but it was 40 miles is a long time to ride a horse. I mean, what, 2-3 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour? I don't know how fast a horse goes. But you had to stop along the way and, you know, the British are coming, the British are coming. I don't know if that's exactly what she said because I wasn't there. But that's what Paul Revere said, right? So must have been something similar. But in history, she gets lost because she was a girl, because she was young, because she was not important. The thing is, each of us are important. We each have a story to tell. And if we don't think that anybody else is going to remember that in the future, there is somebody out there that knows your story. You have touched somebody's heart. You have made it, oh, so inspiring and so heartfelt that they can't help but know your story. So I grew up listening to this story and thinking that she was actually my great-great-great-great-grandmother or something. Yeah, she's only an aunt. But it's still a family member that did something so amazing that changed the course of history, even though it's very unknown for most people. Did you know there are 3 statues dedicated to her? There is one in Carmel, New York. There is actually one at the Daughters of American Revolution Museum in DC, which I did not know about until I started researching this yesterday. Because, a story. I need a story. I'm not a storyteller. Well, today I am. And I'm stepping up for that. So, as you move forward in your futures, know that you have an amazing story to share. And each of us want to hear it as we move forward. We want to know more about you and your families because history is amazing. Thank you very much.